two and a half years, they've expanded it. They've made it like 4 times larger than what it was. And a friend of mine told me that they said they're getting it ready for the uprisings. When there's food shortages and all these riots begin, they're getting the police.
And again, the government's going to act like when all this happens that it just happened and they just now did this. They plan the collapse. They'll pose as a savior. It is so diabolical. That's why get your food, get your guns, get ready, spread the word, show that they back off. They could still be made to back off or not have it as severe if they don't think they're going to be able to properly execute it. Okay? But again, we've got to wake up out of our trance, ladies and gentlemen. All right, here we go.
We're on the march. The empire's on the...
You know, we went to break, and I was going to come back and finish up with some calls and get into the Mitt Romney news and some economist news as well on nanotech. And the guys were laughing when I went to break, started talking to them off air. I go, what's funny? And they said, it was funny. You said when I was in bed next to Richard last night, and he woke me up. Yes, in a hotel with 2 beds, ladies and gentlemen. And my point is you know, we're not super fancy around here. But I guess we probably will, just I think his storm was waking me up, mine was waking his up. And I was making the point, if you just joined us, about how when you're in a hotel room, that's when it always happens to me, and you hear like horns honking or something happening, you wake up, you don't know where you are at first, you're kind of like in a trance. Well, your brain waves are at the same level they are when you're sleepwalking or in between waking and sleeping as people's brain waves are when they have been watching television. When you go into suspended disbelief mode, you are in just a highly suggestible, semi-hypnotized mode. And the average person watches, now it's over 5 hours a day. The average person under the age of 18, it's something like 6.5 with like 2 hours of video games on top. Now, the internet's not perfect, but they found it's more like reading where it's interactive and makes you think at least. TV is really bad, but just to prove to everyone, we're here in the hotel room. Richard's actually out in the bus. This is going to be really funny. Here on Skype, if you're watching at prisonplanet.tv, there you go, 2 beds. There you go. It wasn't, you know, like we're the 3 Stooges all in there together. That's hilarious. Oh man. All right, here we go. I need to put the camera back up on the mount before I lose my Skype connection here. Let me see if I'm smart enough to do this. Get this done. There we go. That's not as good as it was earlier, but I'm trying. Okay, let's try to hurriedly go through some calls. I'm doing pretty good. I'm taking some calls today. Let me go back to my phone here that I'm getting the callers on. Why didn't we launch IM today so I could just get them that way? Or is it even on these computers? I know we absconded with Chris's company computer, so we didn't have enough laptops to go on the road with us. Oh, by the way, I'm so busy on the road, I'm not even plugging what funds this operation. If you want to go to prisonplanet.tv or infowarsnews.com, it's 15 cents a day, $5.95 a month. 1 membership is really 6 memberships. 6 people can be logged in simultaneously with the same username and passcode. And I doubt anybody's ever going to use the same 6 codes, so it's more like 15 or 20 memberships. I mean, I bet if we turned it up to that, where you know, people could be simultaneously logged in with the username 15 times, that you'd start getting people, say for the nightly news at night, that's pretty much totally subscriber, that you might have people getting blocked out. But 6 people for 15 cents a day or whatever, I think it's 15 cents a day, $5.95 a month. There's a 15-day free trial going right now, and you fund what we're doing also, so we can go on the road in our old bus. I noticed the other talking point was, look, he's got a bus, he's rich. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we had a money bomb, and we bought the bus for cheaper than you can get a new small RV. Of course, I didn't understand the fact that when you buy a 12-year-old, well, now it's 13-year-old, as I bought it about 6-8 months ago, giant bus, that you can get them very inexpensively because people can't afford the upkeep of it. But I love the bus. But I tell you, it's like the space shuttle or something. I got an incredible deal on it. And I was like, wow, I can't believe I got this for, well, that's because these buses are different. And my style is really not like a topless bar. The inside of it does look, it was actually owned by a famous drag racer and custom car builder that the IRS was taking everything from. So before they could, you know, when he was having to liquidate everything, he sold it for almost nothing to us about a year ago. I guess it was a little under a year ago. And I haven't shown it to people because I really don't want it being identified. It's really just to get us places with a lot of equipment and crew. And so my children can see America. and go on the road with me sometimes. They're not on this trip, which is Bilderberg. It's dangerous. Without weird men with little mustaches and pot bellies sticking their hands down their pants. I mean, I just can't put up with it. And I know I'm anti-freedom because I don't want a weirdo, a defrocked priest for child molestation to touch my children. I understand that's bad nowadays, or not wanting a drone in my backyard, or not wanting the NSA run by foreign banks listening to me, and publicly running Al-Qaeda but saying I've got to give my rights up because of Al-Qaeda. So that's why we got the bus. And I want to thank everybody. But you can also go to planetinfowars.com. The social network has exploded. People are really getting organized there. There's a lot of coverage, a lot of people that are going to be at Bilderberg, of thousands of activists and freedom lovers are going to be blogging at planetinfowars.com. You can also support the sponsors, buy the books, the videos that are available that'll help wake you up to a higher level and others at prisonplanet.TV, and it has links over to Infowars.com. The best place to find the T-shirts, the books, the ball caps, the films, all of it is InfoWarsShop.com. And that does literally help us put gas, because the dollar's been devalued, in the war wag that I think it's 8 miles to the gallon, or 9 or 10 sometimes, but if you're going uphill, maybe 6 miles. Still cheaper than flying, though, if you put 5 or 6 people on board. So the point is, I do intend to start traveling the country and speaking. And to break even and pay for everything, if we speak to about 2,000 people, we need to charge about $20 because the venues are expensive. The insurance, the security they make you get is expensive. Glenn Beck would charge $500 for people to come see him, and only like 400 or 500, sometimes 200 would come. I could get 10,000 out. I've gotten over 2,000 people out before. But I'm not going to fly around in a private jet. I could charge $200, $300 a ticket. Hundreds and hundreds of people would pay it, probably thousands. And I could get a private jet like Glenn Beck. And I'm not knocking him for that. He wants a private jet to fly around and charge people $500 and do meet and greets for little kids to come shake his hand. I don't do that. I've seen the videos of Glenn Beck with like 15 security people. And people never understand or realize. They're like, he must have hidden security. He must be. No, I just trust in God. And I'm not a coward. I mean, if people not figure that out yet, I hope this year, because last time we pulled over and they drove past us and we followed them, I hope they have feds or globalists or Marines in plain clothes start following us around trying to intimidate us, because I'm stopping my car. And I'm gonna follow you this time. Okay, because I really want to know, why are you operating illegally inside the U.S.? You know full well I'm peaceful. You know full well you're trying to intimidate me. And let me give you a little news flash. You don't intimidate jack squat, pal. You're signed on with people that have brain damaged millions of American children and are putting cancer viruses in the shots. This isn't a game, okay? And it's not about Alex Jones and my security either. This is total war for the heart and soul of humanity and our future. And the sooner people figure that out and stop being such cowards, the sooner we'll beat the globalist. I'm so sick of it. I'm sick of the cowardice, and I'm sick of the fear, and I'm sick of people not being able to realize what you're hearing and seeing here is real. This is real resistance. You're real. I'm real. The fight's real. You do have power. That's not a message you get from the globalists. We're real. That's why we're under attack. So pray for us and support us. Last time we were traveling, my wife said, can we just do the show in the RV, though? Because we were at some little place in New Mexico that was so cool that John Wayne liked to stop at. It was like one of the last old railway hotels. It wasn't even expensive. I forget the name of it. And I was talking out there. There was a window right here, this little orchard at the old railway station. There's, what do you call those things? What's the famous railway hotels that were out in the West? I'll look it up in a minute. And she said you could hear me 100 yards across. And people were like looking and asking what was going on. But when hotels find out you're doing a radio show, they won't knock on the door. So I need to not be screaming. Let's go ahead here and take some phone calls. I'm going to tell you right now, make my day and try to intimidate me, Marines, okay? Because you're not Marines. It's like Smedley Butler said, you serve a bunch of criminal offshore bankers. You may feel special, your little mouthpieces, and you're trying to intimidate people. You don't intimidate me. I'm somebody trying to cover a criminal group, violating the Logan Act, meeting illegally, who wants to destroy your future. All right, let's go ahead and go back to the calls here. I'm Joe in Missouri, then Randy, Pastor, and Chris, and that's going to be it for calls. I got a few news items to hit. Go ahead. You're on the air, Joe.
Yeah, hello, Alex. This is me, Joe. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and was talking to my dad around the grill, and he works for the National Geospatial Agency, and he was pretty much talking about how the National Geospatial Agency has its own Google maps and it's advanced, and that pretty much made me think of you because you were talking about Google. I'm sorry if I'm a bit nervous here. I'm on a
No. Google was given a key. Well, your dad works for the group that runs the main satellites and is over that highly classified. And, you know, the issue here is Google is NSA. They were given their keyword search. That's the basis of Google 12 years ago, 13 years ago now. That is the basis. It is the NSA. It's not connected. It is. And now that's coming out. And yes, Google Earth, Google Maps, all of it is global, proprietary, taxpayer paid for stuff given to private people and their shareholders. See, they have to make money while they gang rape us. Do you understand that's the important part?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, go ahead and tell us what your dad had to say.
Well, he was just telling me about his job, about what he does. He also told me about, like, the networks they have, like 100 gig speed networks that are, like, really fast compared to, like, your home network or an office network.
Yeah, they have the intranet. Yeah, that way they can watch live-time video of you with ground-penetrating radar have sex with your wife, yeah.
Well, yeah, and by the way, me, myself, I am slightly autistic. I have Asperger's syndrome, so I've been affected by that, too.
Yeah, there's going to be some people that, due to the chemical attack, are going to end up having unforeseen idiot savant-type characteristics. And so there's going to be a lot of curveballs thrown at the New World Order. I'm not saying you're an idiot savant, but that's like on the edge of the entrance of those type areas. But I mean, does your dad think the vaccines did it, or does he just think the government loves him?
Well, he's kind of in favor of the government. He knows about some of this stuff, but he doesn't really like talking about it. He
feels like he's on the winning team. I mean, he got invited to the party. He feels like, you know, he's okay because he's got the inside. It'd be like saying, oh, I know they've got kids in that basement torturing them, but because I know and I have dinner with the guy that does it, it's okay.
Well, yeah, my dad's a good person, a church-going person and everything. It's just that, I'm not sure about what else goes on, in the National Geospatial.
I'm not saying your dad is bad. I was giving an analogy of the extreme of that. But yes, people that work for the government are all compartmentalized and are the most propagandized people ever. They're given all these templates and reasons for what they're doing, I'm here to break the compartmentalization so that they at least hear the truth and have a choice. You know, God always does that, and he works through weak vessels like myself so that people are warned and have a choice to be told what they're doing is wrong. Like abortion is a human. You can make excuses all day. No, it is. The fact that Marvel Comics has two guys kissing on the cover of it to corrupt 7- and 8-year-old kids into sexual activity, period, is wrong. You know, the fact that they're putting fluoride in our water is giving us cancer is wrong. You know, we see the wages of the New World Order. They are death. The fruit of the New World Order is bondage, slow death, pain, agony, enslavement, disinformation, and fraud. And I want to turn the train around. What about you, my friend?